Hi guys, this is Stormmouse03, and this is my guide to getting all the medals in episode 4 of Resident Evil Revelations 2. So let's get right into it. In Claire's episode, the medals are cleared the episode with 100% accuracy, defeated 1 Glasp with a knife, opened 2 military boxes, clear the episode with no retries, defeat 3 Glasps, escape the monument with more than 15 seconds to spare, kill 5 indigenous animals, find 4 treasures, find all of the tower emblems, and clear the episode within 20 minutes. So the first thing that you want to do is find 4 treasures. There will always be a sapphire underneath the stairs around here. Then once you get upstairs, there will be a ruby on the chair, and there will be 3 vases that you can break for 3 more treasures. So that should be your 4 treasures, actually 5 of them for that medal. Next up we have the 2 military boxes. And so once you break through this gate and knock it down, there will be a military box just to your right. And so that is number 1. And then once you get outside, there's going to be another box. If you drop down with Claire, generally the AI will fall down onto this ledge. I found that to be a little easier, and then you can switch to Moira and get the second military box. Sometimes when I tried to fall off of that ledge myself, you just end up falling off and dying, so I found it easier to let the AI go ahead and fall off for you. So in any case, that should be your second military box, and we can move on to the next medal. Next one I'm going to be talking about is defeat 3 Glasps. So if you're playing on normal or higher difficulty, you're going to have to defeat 3 Glasps in order to make it through. But if you're playing on casual, you might have to do a little bit of work to find 3 of them. The first one that you encounter, you kind of have to kill because it's in your way as far as getting to the ladder. So it'll be coming at you from the right. You can use the smoke bottles to be able to see these guys a little bit better, but you can also just kind of estimate where they are if you don't have any of those bottles. So after you kill the first one, if you run around to the other side, you'll be able to find the second Glasp that is up on this level and take care of him. Then once you go downstairs, there should be 2 more Glasps. One of them is going to be directly in front of you, and then the other one is going to be around kind of near the exit to this level. So if you've killed the first 2, you technically only need to kill 1 of these guys, but I'm going to show you where both of them are. If you're playing on normal or higher difficulty, there's also going to be a couple of Glasps in the very last sequence where you are running to the finish and everything is falling all around you and it's pretty tense and that sort of thing. So those are available as well if you are playing on normal or survivor. But if you're playing on casual, then they won't be there. So you want to make sure that you get 3 of these first ones. So that should be defeating at least 3 Glasps in this area. And you can go ahead and move on to the next medal. So next up we have finding all of the tower emblems. There are 3. The first one is in this room where you meet the Overseer. If you look over to the right there, there will be your first tower emblem on top of those boxes. The second one is going to be after you go outside, around underneath the ramp where you came out. The third tower emblem is going to be on your way out of the level. Once you jump across this little thing here onto the concrete, if you continue around to the right a little bit, it will be right there for you. Next up we have kill 5 indigenous animals, and there are actually 6 that are available to be killed. The first 3 are rats. And so there's one rat that spawns over, that's walking in front of that gate over there. I find that if I walk too close to it, it runs away and I can't get it. So I like to shoot it from when I exit the door. Then if you look to the left, there will be your second rat that was over beside the workbench, but now it kind of runs and gets stuck on the box there. So that should be number 2. Your third rat is going to be after you knock down the gate here. He's going to start running toward you. And so you just want to be aware of that and get him as he's running toward you. So that is number 3. Once you exit the building, there's going to be 3 birds that you can shoot. 2 of them are sort of across the way. And so you just want to make sure you line up your aim on them and take them out. And then there's going to be one that you can see if you turn the camera to look sort of beneath you. If you step off, he'll fly away, but if you look down and shoot him, you can get him. Next up, we have kill a glasp with a knife. That is easiest done on this first glasp. If you come and stand right at the corner here and just hold down right trigger so you'll just be constantly knifing, you'll be able to get him before he can get around the corner to get you. And so you don't have to use a smoke bomb. You can if you want to, but it's not necessary. You just want to stand there and knife and he will die. And then if you need to kill 2 more, you can kill 2 more of the ones that I showed you before. If you are going for 100% accuracy, there are only 2 glasps that you need to kill. The first one can be killed with the knife there, and the second one, if you wait, you will see the boxes right here move, and that's when you know that he's going to be right in front of you, and you can take him out. And then you won't have to kill anything else through the rest of the level, and that should be 100% accuracy. You can also get 100% accuracy while shooting the animals and tower emblems, just as long as you don't miss. So next up is escaping the facility with 15 seconds left to go. I think this has more to do with when you hit this checkpoint right here, where I had 1 minute 11 left, and then it gives you like 30 seconds on the clock to get out of there. And I think a lot of people are saying that you need to make it to this point right here, where I had about 18 seconds left, that is the point where it wants you to be there within 15 or more seconds left. And I don't know that that's 100% accurate, because I did get there with over 15 seconds in that particular run, and I ended up getting the medal, which makes sense. But then in another run that I did, I made it to the checkpoint before with about 25 seconds left, which is more than 15. Obviously, 25 is more than 15. And then I kind of messed around a little bit getting to the end. This was actually my first run, and I was kind of like, no, I don't want to leave Moira. And I only had about 13 seconds left when the timer stopped this time, and I still got the medal. And so I'm thinking that it may have more to do with hitting that first checkpoint with more than 15 seconds instead of this last one. So if you're having trouble unlocking the medal and you're like, I don't understand, I'm hitting the last one with more than 15 seconds, then it could be that you need to hit that first checkpoint with more than 15 seconds. So the last 2 are pretty self-explanatory. You want to clear the level in under 20 minutes, and you also want to clear the level without doing any retries. Shouldn't be too difficult. Just make sure you know where the enemies are and don't fall off the level, and you should be just fine. So we're going to move on to Barry's half of episode 4. So the medals for Barry's episode are defeat 10 revenant by only hitting their weak spots, defeat Alex in the mine sublevel without taking damage, hit enemies with Natalia's brick 15 times, defeat 5 enemies with a follow-up attack, defeat 10 enemies with sub-weapons, defeat 5 enemies using the stealth attack, defeat 10 enemies with the knife, open 3 gimmick boxes, find 10 hidden items with Natalia, and clear the level by moving the crane no more than 3 times. So first up, we're going to talk about finding 10 hidden items with Natalia. This is just like you've done in the past. You want to find shiny things, point at them, and then collect them. Rinse and repeat 10 times, and you should be good on that one. Next up, in this very first area here, you are going to have quite a few just regular zombies, and there are a lot of bricks scattered around, and so you can knock out your 15 brick hits in this area. If you need some more bricks from upstairs, you can always throw them down into the area with the zombies and then pick them back up to be able to get your brick hits. And so if you hold down right trigger, you'll hit them, and it hits them about 3 times before it breaks. You can also throw the bricks at them. Any combination of those things, you just want to try to do that about 15 times or as much as possible up here. There's going to be a couple of other spots where you can get some of those brick hits as well, but this is a great place to farm that in the beginning. This is also a good place to go ahead and start getting some knife kills with Barry, and there are a few of these zombies that you can sneak up on as well and get some stealth attacks. And so this is a good spot to start getting a number of those different kills, and you just sort of choose which ones you want to do. I would say prioritize knife kills because you can get the stealth kills a little bit later on the revenants toward the end of the level, but do whichever you like and whichever you need. You can also work on getting your 5 follow-up attacks as well, and to do that you just want to hit them until they get staggered and then hit right trigger when it's prompted, and you'll do that follow-up attack. You'll need 5 of those as well, so you can farm those on some of these zombies at the beginning too. Okay, so let's talk about gimmick boxes. You need 3 of them, and I'm going to show you 4. This first one, I believe you can only get if you changed the direction of the sluice in Claire's episode so that you go down the alternate path. There will be a place to crawl under, and there's a gimmick box in there. You're going to need to lure the zombie out and kill him with Barry outside here, and then you can go back into that room and get your gimmick box. The next gimmick box is available to everyone. It's down in these poison gas-filled mines, and you're going to need to move one of the mining carts out of the way. And if you move it, you'll reveal a path to the left, and if you keep moving it forward, you will reveal a room to the right, and that is where the gimmick box is. You probably will need to keep moving back up to this area on the stairs so that you can get a breath. It is 3 locks on this gimmick box, and so just be warned that you don't want to die right here, and the gas is poisoning you while you open this box. So if you're not super quick, you're probably going to need to go back and get some air from the stairs right next door so that you can finish up this gimmick box. But that is number 2 or number 1 if you were taking the regular path, the path that you didn't need to change the sluice for. The next gimmick box is in the mansion section. If you go into this room, there are a couple of revenants in here. This room is just past the morgue, where you have to use the Access 1 security card, Access Level 1, to get into the morgue. There's going to be this room just past that door, and you can get your next gimmick box there. And the next gimmick box is upstairs in one of these rooms next to the journal entry there. If you go around the desk, there will be your next gimmick box, and that should be 3 and an extra one if you chose to go on the alternate route through the landfill area. But even if you didn't, that should still be 3 for the medal. Okay, so our next medal is to clear the level, moving the crane no more than 3 times. This isn't too bad once you understand what you're doing and how the crane works and all that good stuff. So The first thing you want to do is put Barry onto the moving platform and hit the switch with Natalia to move him across. That is switch number 1. Then you're going to switch to Barry and climb up the ladder to the top of the crane. And you want to just make sure that you keep him on the section of the crane that is going to move. And that way he will, get moved over to the other side while on top of the crane so that he can knock down the ladder that's over there. So once you get him situated on top of the crane, you can hit switch number 3 with Natalia. That will move him over and allow him to step off and knock down the ladder up there. And then you just want to move him back up to the moving part of the crane up there and then leave him there. Switch to Natalia, climb up the ladder, and then run across, climb down the ladder on the other side, and then you can hit the third switch that you're going to hit, our last one. It's going to be number 5, and that will move Barry over to the point where he can knock down the ladder so that both he and Natalia can get out of this section. The only sort of unfortunate thing about this is that you won't be able to get across to get the shotgun. So you're going to want to make sure that you pick that up on a different playthrough, because you don't have enough switch hits to be able to do that on the same run where you're going to get this medal. So anyway, once your third switch is pulled, you'll be able to knock down the ladder and exit this section, and that will be that medal done. So next up, I just wanted to point out a couple of sections in the Poisoned Mines where you can work on some more of your kills. You can get some more brick hits with Natalia against some of the zombies down here. You can also go for some knife kills, and you can also get a bunch of kills with sub-weapons in these areas as well, because there's going to be several times throughout this sequence where there are going to be 4, 5, 6 zombies all together. And so that is a really good opportunity to cluster them up and get some of those sub-weapon kills that you need. And also good opportunities to work on any of the other medals that you need, like follow-up attacks, knife kills, anything like that. So I would say that this is the section definitely where I think you should probably at least get your sub-weapon kills, because there are so many zombies that you can cluster together. But once you do that, you can also work on any of those other medals that you would like. Next, we're going to talk about stealth kills. So a really good place to get some of your stealth kills is in the mansion section. There are a bunch of these revenants in here, and I would say the majority of them, at least in the beginning, you can kind of sneak up on and work on several of those stealth kills. Now, like I said at the beginning, you can get some stealth kills on some of the zombies in the beginning of the level as well if you need a few more, but definitely a good idea to try to get a couple of them here on some of these revenants. Another thing that you need to do with the revenants is get 10 kills by only hitting their weak spots. And so you do this just like you've done it every other time. You use Natalia to find where the weak spot is, you switch to Barry, and you shoot the revenant only in that spot. There is a room with a bunch of revenants in tanks, and if you need some more kills like that, you can farm some here in this room by breaking the glass on those tanks with your knife and then shooting them in the weak spots. That's just if you need a few extra kills. So the last medal is to defeat Alex in the mine sublevel without taking damage. And this sounds pretty tricky, and it can be if you let the fight go on for too long. She will spit these smoke bomb projectile things at you. She will use poison gas, which can damage you, and she's pretty quick and has some really good range on her swipe attacks and whatnot. And so she's pretty dangerous. You don't want to underestimate her. But if you have the right resources, this shouldn't be too bad. Make sure that you are saving up bottles and things to make bottles throughout the level. Fire bottles, alcohol, and empty bottles are pretty common throughout this level. And then if you can find gunpowder as well, some explosive bottles will be good for you too. So I recommend making sure that you hang out near the upper section here, because this is kind of where she's going to spawn. You don't want to be too far away from where she spawns, because if you are, then she's going to start spitting those smoke bomb things, and they have crazy range on those things. Like, you can dodge out of the way, and it seems like you're about a mile away from it, and it'll still hit you. So I would recommend hanging around up on the top level, and then once she spawns, try to get a little bit of distance on her and start pummeling her with your bottles. And if you're playing this on the casual difficulty, which is, again, what I think you should be playing it on for the sake of ease of getting these medals, then it shouldn't take too many bottles before she has been defeated. So you'll see I hit her with 3 explosive bottles, 6 fire bottles, and shot her a little bit with my AK. So it does take a little bit of resources, but that, I think, is the best way to manage that fight. Now, I do not believe that you need to take no damage on this section. I think it is only that first fight that you need to worry about. But just in case you need to do this second part as well, in case you take no damage on the first part and it's not unlocking for you for some reason, the second part of this fight, you just want to focus on shooting her with Claire. You don't want to engage her with Barry, because it's just, you're in too close proximity to her and there are too many opportunities for her to get some hits in on you. If you shoot her as much as you can with Claire, then when it switches to Barry, you want to turn around immediately and run out of the area that you are in and get to a part where you can shoot her as Claire again. And if you do that, then it shouldn't give you any problems with defeating her without taking damage here. Again, on casual difficulty, she doesn't take that much to kill, and so you shouldn't have too much of a problem taking her down. So like I said, you probably shouldn't need to do this, because the mine sub-level that it's talking about is the first part of the fight, I believe. But just in case, there you go. That should be your last medal of the game. And you should have that achievement or trophy in hand. So that is pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. I have enjoyed covering all of the medals in this game for you. I hope that these guides have been helpful and that you guys were able to get your achievement. This last one is appropriately titled, I'm Not Leaving Without My Medal. So there you go. I will be covering some of the other modes in this game as well, so hopefully I will see you guys there. Thanks for watching.